This conference will now be recorded.
Go ahead.
If we could make changes, there's a number of typographical errors. So I would also agree to approving the,
We're talking the agenda at this point. Okay. All right. But I did move on quickly and didn't give the committee a chance to discuss the agenda. Any comments on prior to approving the agenda as circulated? Okay. Any opposed to approving the agenda? No opposition. The agenda is approved as circulated. And the minutes. May I get a mover to approve the minutes of the previous meeting?
so I will move the minutes. I will agree to move the minutes with the correction of the typographical errors in the minutes if they're corrected.
Okay, so noted to move the minutes to be amended to correct any all typographical errors noted in the minutes. Is there a seconder?
Sure.
Okay, and seconded by Mr. Colbert. Any opposed to the minutes as proposed to be amended? No, none seen. That is carried. Okay. Before we move to the first item of new business, we have question period. Is there anyone from the audience who has a question not pertaining directly to either of the two applications that are on the agenda? Okay. None seen. Is the committee prepared to move on to an election of a chair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Would anyone like to propose or self-nominate themselves to be chair?
I would like to nominate Corinne Pollard, who's in the chair already.
Who's that? Okay, seconder?
I will second that.
Hey, Corinne, are you willing to accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? Okay, so it's been moved that Corinne assumes chair. Now, I do want to stress that when the two vacant positions to the committee are filled, the committee is going to be revisiting at that time. Okay, so just so that the committee knows, they'll have a chance to revisit that once they've got full membership. Okay. Any opposed to the motion?
No.
Okay, none seen. Corinne, you ready to take over?
Great, thank you. So we'll start right into it. We'll look at the first motion that's on the floor for application number A05-24. The applicants are Mark Sheedy and Wendy Sheedy, and the subject property is 387116 20th Side Road in Mono. The purpose of their application is proposing a secondary dwelling and is seeking relief from section 5 I small ii. A second dwelling unit shall be only permitted on lots that have a minimum lot area of 10 hectares or 25 acres. The subject property is 3.71 hectares or 9.16 acres. At this time, I will turn it over to the Sheedys if they or their representative have anything that they wish to discuss or bring forward with the committee. So if that's the case, if you can please step up and make sure you talk into your mic.
Have any questions or anything to add other than what has been reviewed already?
If you could press your mic button.
Sorry, yeah, no, we don't have any specific questions or anything to add to what's already been reviewed and brought forward by Simi in the planning department.
Great, thank you. At this time, then, I guess we will open it to the public in terms of if anyone that is here, if anyone has any questions or anything that they wish to discuss with regards to this application. Seeing none, I will turn it over to my esteemed committee members and see if you have any questions or anything that you wish to ask of the Sheedies. Gary?
No, I don't have any questions. The planning report, I think, covered it all, and I'm sure you have a copy of that.
I do, yep.
The only concern I might, or concern, it's not a concern I have, it's certainly not at all, except for the water well. And where is your water well going, or your water going to come from? Because the well on the existing map shows it on the opposite side of the house for the existing well.
Correct. So we intend to drill a second and separate
Okay.
well close to the new dwelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an old 4-inch anyway. We wouldn't think to attach to that one. So we'll do a new one.
Yeah.
An additional one.
Perfect, thank you.
That's it for me, Warren.
Dave, did you have anything you want to ask?
Yeah, the conditions are laid out.
Sorry, Corinne, through to the members. So the, nothing gets recorded if the microphones aren't on and the public can't hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're training her. The actual conditions laid out. So I gather this is for family. You
It is, yeah.
you
Yes,
guys
it
are
is.
moving into the new property and
The
Or vice versa.
secondary dwelling would either be occupied by my daughter and her family or young family or ourselves. We're still discussing that with them. It would be either a retirement.
negotiating.
Yeah. Yes, yes. But I think it would be adequate for either purpose, either her young, has a one grandchild, or it would be for ourselves. So it'd be not a big house, but that would be the purpose of it. Yes. It'll be
Close
shared
enough.
with our daughter and son-in-law and grandchild, and that's it. That's the sole purpose of that.
So you get someone to do the maintenance.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All over, I'm sure.
No other questions? Madam Chair.
Yeah, perfect. So I have reviewed all of the material and I will make a comment to Alexander Planning. I know Deborah is on the line. And I just wanted to thank you, Deborah. I like the new kind of inclusions into the planning report that discusses a number of different aspects, one of which being defining minor variants, et cetera, into the report. So on that, I also have no questions. I think everything was laid out extremely clearly. And as I said, I have no questions. So I will turn it over to the committee to bring forward a motion with regards to the application.
Actually, I do have one revised question. So on the last item of recommendation by Deborah, maybe she can address this. Any approval secondary dwelling should not be used for purposes of vacation property or any other use that's not permissible under the current zone. Does that include rental? Going back, asking our execs.
Through you, Madam Chair. In response to your question, the Planning Act does not allow us to place limitations on who can rent or whether it can be rented. So we can't say that it's just going to be for family. We can't say that it's not allowed to be rented.
Okay, so that doesn't preclude Airbnbs or anything like that?
The condition was that they're not to use it as a vacation property because that is not allowed under the current zoning, and they have to agree that they're going to abide by the current zoning.
Okay, so the term vacation covers all that kind of online,
Correct.
part-time
And
rental.
correct, and the condition carries on to say other use is not permissible under the zoning bylaw. So we capture everything that isn't allowed. They're agreeing not to do anything that is not allowed.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted a definition of vacation.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Thank you. So I will throw it onto the floor. If either one of you want to bring forward a motion to this application.
I will move that we approve it, subject to the conditions.
I'll second that motion.
So did we want to read the motion into the, yeah. So we will read the motion into words for Fred and everyone else. So just repeat the same information over. Is that so? Application number A05-24, the applicants Mark Sheedy and Wendy Sheedy. Subject property is 387116 20th Side Road in Mono. Application is proposing a secondary dwelling and seeking relief from section 5, I believe it's L, small I. A secondary dwelling unit shall only permit lots that have a minimum lot area of 10 hectares or 25 acres. The subject property is 3.71 hectares or 9.16. We have a motion from Jerry to, what's the best word for that? To grant the minor variance to allow this second dwelling in accordance with the, yeah, please, thank you, Fred.
So what the committee has available to help is that's where's the package I left for you?
Oh, I didn't get that. This is just what I got in the mail.
Yeah, same here.
So,
There-
no, I put it on your desk. I put one on everyone's
Okay,
desk.
one.
There we go.
Oh, didn't see that.
Okay. So there it is worded in the form of
Oh,
a
okay, that's right.
resolution.
Thank you.
That's better.
Okay, take two. That minor variance application, A05-24 by Mark and Wendy Sheedy, owner of Lot 64, Plan 7M27, Part Lot 20, concession, I believe that's 1 EHS, known municipally as 387116 20th Side Road, to permit the construction of a secondary dwelling unit on their property is approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, payment in full of any outstanding municipal fees, taxes, and charges prior to any building permit application to Dufferin County Building Services Department. Number 2, payment in full of all applicable local municipal development charge fees to the town prior to any building permit application to Dufferin County. Note that separate Dufferin County development charge fees may apply at time of submission of a building permit application. Number 3, that the variance permits only to the request as submitted by the application. 4, submission of a minimal distance separation calculation as required by OMAFRA, prepared by a qualified consultant at the sole cost of the owners, such as minimum distance separation calculation is demonstrated to be compliant prior to the building permit application. And 5, issuance of a clearance letter from the NVCA at the sole cost of the owners prior to the submission of any building permit application. And of course, number 6, owners agree in writing to the sole satisfaction of the town at the sole cost of the owners that any approved secondary dwelling shall not be used for purposes of vacation property or any other uses not permitted under the current zone. Now I'll ask my friends with me if, Jerry, if you will still bring this motion forward as read.
I will.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any objections? Seeing none, we've carried. Phew. Can I record that and play that back for the next one?
Well, thank you, committee, and thank you, staff. Yeah,
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck.
appreciate it.
All right, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. There we go. Which is number A06-24, Sadeep Gill and Hardit Gill, 635622 Highway 10 Mono. I presume, gentlemen, if you wish to come forward and when you speak, if you could please speak into the mic.
Good
So
evening.
at this time, if you wish to present or have any comments that you wish to make with regards to this application?
Yeah, we don't have any new comments other than what's been presented in the planning report. The one question I had was, should we find a favorable result here if we're able to eliminate condition number 4, given the location? We feel that it's quite far away from any active farms. Typically, we don't really see an MDS calculation required for this, so we're asking if that could be striked out. If not, we're happy to provide one.
Perfect, thank you. And was there anything else that you wish to discuss with regards to the application? I guess, is that the only reason that you would look to seek not getting the minimum distance separation, as you feel that you're not close to agricultural property? Is that correct?
Correct. We're actually located more than 50 meters, actually 300 meters away from the existing dwelling, which is one of our variances we've requested. The second variance we requested is the access off of 30th Side Road. And that's strategically done. So because we feel Highway 10 is a busy road and it's pretty unsafe to get in there. And given our property has a water course that runs through it, it's regulated by NVCA. We thought the proposed location was ideal, and it's safe and convenient for everyone.
I certainly would agree that a entrance off of 30 is a lot safer than Highway 10 for sure. Yeah, thank you. On that, so thank you very much. The one thing that I did not ask of you is if you can give your name and your address just for purposes of the recording.
Yeah, my name is Emmer Paul-Bansel. I am the agent for this application. My address is 3 Forest Hill Lane, East Garifexa, L9W7S4.
Great, thank you very much. And I assume you're one of the owners of the property?
I'm actually the son of the owner, so I'm just here to represent him.
Fantastic, thank you. All right, we will at this time open up to the floor. Does anyone in the on the floor have any questions that they wish to ask at this time in the public? Fantastic. Sorry, I just want to make sure there's no one on the phones. So having no questions in the public, I will turn it over to my esteemed colleagues for any questions or any thoughts that they may have. So Jerry, did you want to start?
So I looked at the location today. Do you have an actual spot where you're going to put the driveway in? And has that been approved by the roads department with the township?
We've actually submitted for a building permit, so all documents have been provided, site plan, grading plan, and the entrance is shown there. It should be attached in the report as a site plan, but we've shown the new entrance there.
Is that?
It's in the tiny piece here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So I looked at that and I couldn't figure it out, but it's,
No, okay.
it should be a D-sized drawing. But
Mhm.
this size, you need magnifiers.
Yeah, I looked at it. I didn't see it myself either.
So anyway, there is actually agriculture to the west of you. You may have to do that report for the Ministry of Agriculture and Food, I would think the MDS report. I don't know how involved that is. Mike or Fred might be able to answer that for you.
Through you, Jerry, I would pass that on to Ms. Alexander to comment on that.
Yeah, okay.
And Deborah, if you could speak to member Reed, that'd be great.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. In terms of the MDS calculation, it is a requirement of both the county official plan and the town official plan. And it's in order to be able to satisfy one of the 4 tests of a variance, we have to ensure we're satisfying that policy also.
Okay.
I think that answered the question.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah. No, I wondered about that. I don't think it's an extensive report anyway, unless there was a cattle operation right beside you or something like that, or a livestock barn, but I don't know just what the real regulation is. So no, that's all I had. You'll be drilling a new well there as well, obviously.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I have no questions.
Perfect. Other than the minimum distance setback, I know that it was listed as a requirement. That was pretty much the only question that I had. And on that, I have no questions. So I will, sorry, I guess I will read my blurb again. I see I will get very good at reading. Okay, so I will propose that the following motion is that a minor variance application A06-24 was submitted by Khalsa Design, Inc., agent for the owner of the property is known municipally as 635622 Highway 10, to seek approval to permit a new driveway access and 305-meter setback between a principal and secondary dwelling unit on the subject property. The minor variance application is approved, subject to the following conditions. Payment in full of all outstanding municipal fees, taxes, and charges prior to any building permit application to Dufferin County Building Services Department. Number 2, payment in full of all applicable local municipal development charge fees to the town prior to any building permit application to Dufferin County. Note that separate Dufferin County development charge fees may apply at the time of submission of a building permit application. Number 3, that the variances pertain only to the request as submitted with the application. Number 4, submission of a minor distance separation calculation as required by OMAFRA, prepared by a qualified consultant at the sole cost of the owner, such that minimum distance separation calculation is demonstrated to be compliant prior to any building permit application. And last but not least, the owners agree in writing to the sole satisfaction of the town at the sole cost of the owner that the secondary dwelling unit shall not be used for purposes of vacation property or any other use not permissible under the current zone. Do I have someone that will move this?
Actually, before the move, I got a question I want to throw back over to the boys on the other side. Because of the setback standard requirements of 50 meters, it puts it within reasonably close to an existing house. But since this is completely on the other end of the property, is there anything keeping that property from applying for a severance later on?
Deborah, if you'd like to answer that.
Okay. Mute.
Apologies. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Through you, Madam Chair. Rural severances are controlled and limited. There are a number of different policies in the provincial planning statement as well as the town and county OPs regarding lot creations in the rural areas. However, it is well within your right to add a condition to this application, to this recommendation rather, that says that a future severance will not be permitted. And you, the owner has the ability to add that to their title to prevent future severances, if that is your wish.
That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
But when I look at this specific property, it looks, or it appears that it has 3 current severances out of it. So when we look at a property for the ability to sever, the owner in Mono is entitled to 2 severances per original 100-acre lot parcel. So I don't, or my opinion, and I'm asking you, Deborah, sorry, is this property does not appear that it would have the ability to have another severance based on the current severances.
In terms of this property, the severances you see, I'm not sure whether the 2 properties to the southwest have been severed from this parcel or not. The north parts are municipal. So those lots are used for municipal purposes and those are not counted when we count a rural severance.
Very interesting.
I have a motion to amend what we have on the table from Deborah.
Motion hasn't been moved yet, so you don't need to amend it. You could just
Add to it. Yeah,
add to it and then move it.
yeah.
Can I
perfect.
a
add
little
to that
easier.
motion?
You may.
Yeah, because it's not moved yet. So
Yeah.
anything you want to do to it, you can at this point.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
condition number 6,
Condition number 6 would be that future severances of this property would not be allowed.
are not permissible.
Better wording.
Perfect. Great, thank you. So do you then move that motion in its entirety with the inclusion of your number 6?
I do.
Thank you very much, Dave. Jerry?
I will second it.
And I would agree with that. So having no objection, obviously, then we will move the motion as outlined. Perfect. Thank you. Yep, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right. And I do not believe on our agenda that we had any other business. I apologize. I did not expect to be sitting here. So we had no additional business to look at. So on that, I will look for a motion to conclude this meeting.
I will so move. If
Thank
you'd
you,
have
Jerry.
called either Dave or I, we'd have told you you were sitting there.
Yeah, I knew. That's why I stuck here.
I second it.
Thank you. All in favor? We close this meeting. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
You've done really good. Just a natural. I think she's a